Hi everyone, welcome to Superman Homepage. I'm Steve Younis, your host. Joining me is my good friend Marc Lax. Hey Marc, how you doing?
Hello, Steve.
Well, today we are not live. You and I usually do our live show on a Monday night with Michael Bailey, but we have a special guest joining the two of us to talk about the new Superman movie. We are joined by Neva Howell. Welcome, Neva.
Hello.
How are you?
It's a pleasure to be here. I'm good. I just noticed the battery here is at 69%, so hopefully
That'll be fine.
I
That'll
forgot
be
to
hours
test
and
them.
hours and hours.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, we're so thrilled and honored to have you join us on Superman Homepage to talk about the new Superman movie where you obviously played Mark Kent.
Right.
Now, can you just give us a little bit of a background for those who maybe don't know who you are and your career, and before we get into the Superman side of things, just give us a kind of the origin story of Neva Howell.
Well, I remember playing a flower in the first grade. Was my first, I guess that was my debut, and I was magnificent, I must say. The best purple flower you ever saw.
I'm
And
sure.
so I've loved it my whole life. I used to make up videos before, way before MTV, take songs and act them out. So I think it's always been in me. And then when I went to college, I was in every play for the whole 2 years I was there. And then my drama teacher encouraged me to audition for the National Shakespeare Conservatory in New York. And I was accepted and went there for a summer. And from there, I went to LA. I had an uncle who lived there. The first trip out there was just terrible. I had no money, I had no car, and it's just impossible to do anything out there with without those two things.
Mm.
So I came back, and I the second time I went, I was in a little better position, and I did get an agent, and I got a commercial almost immediately, and I thought, wow, this is great. And then right on the heels of that, I got a national commercial that ended up running for about 10 years. But unfortunately, they canceled me the day before I was supposed to shoot. I was supposed to be the wife, and they canceled the wife. So I had to go back home again. If I had gotten that, I could have stayed for a long time. But the third time I went back was when I did start getting some work, and I really felt like I was finding my footing. But the traffic and just the traffic mainly just broke me. I remember I called my mom and I said, Mom, it's taken me an hour and a half to go 18 miles. I'm coming home. And so I did. Fortunately for me, about that time was when we started getting more work out here. Before there was just almost nothing.
Mm.
But about that time, they started bringing in films and movies of the week, and I got a movie of the week. And after that, just kept getting mostly small roles, one
Mhm.
or two, three lines. And I did that for uh, almost 40 years. I took 7 years off in that 40-year period to do other things, but mostly I just did these small roles just over and over and over. And then the last two that I did before Superman were nicer roles. I did Ghost of the Ozarks, which
Mhm.
was a lot of fun. And then I did Greedy People, which came out last year, or might have been this year, but I think it was last year.
Mhm.
And of course, they cut a lot of my role out of that, but it still paid the same.
Yeah.
So I was very happy to get that one. And then Superman.
Fabulous. That's amazing. I noticed you've got the Superman necklace on there. That's
Yes.
very nice. So,
I try to wear this whenever I do interviews because I just love it. Now I've got it crooked. I'm going to go the
It's
wrong
always
way
weird.
with
It's
it.
always weird to know which way to
When
go.
you're looking, yeah, when you're looking at it in the,
It's not
there
a
we go.
mirror.
That's good.
I know,
There you go.
but it acts the same way.
It is strange. So, how did you first hear about the opportunity to play Mark Kent in James Gunn's Superman?
Well, I got an audition from my agent, audition request, and at the time it was called something else. The
Mm-hmm.
names were different. I didn't know it was Superman. I just knew it was a nice role, so I read for it. And then I got a callback audition, also on tape, and I believe there was a third one, if memory serves.
Mm-hmm.
And then I went to the studio for a screen test. And then I went back to the studio for a chemistry test with the pause. So it was at the end of that very long day that James told me that he wanted me to be Ma.
Wow, that's fabulous.
It was a surreal moment.
I can imagine. I can imagine. Mark, you're up next. You got your next question.
Yes. Can you tell us a bit about the audition? Well, you kind of did tell us about the audition process and how you landed the
Yeah.
role. Well, how did you? So your agent got you the audition.
Hmm. That's
So,
how it works.
yeah. So when you're going for those kind of
You don't, I mean, I'm not being facetious,
no, that's
but a lot of people don't realize
No,
you
yeah.
don't even know about a job unless your agent
yeah.
gets it for you,
And
unless
I
you're a
think I
big
Right.
think the
enough.
code name for the movie was Genesis or something like that at that time.
Mhm.
So it wouldn't have even
Yeah.
been known to you what the role was.
Yeah.
It, so the auditioning process, you're landing the role. You're doing these chemistry tests with the different paths. Did you know any of the other actors at the time that you were
There
doing
were
these
only
chemistry tests with?
there were only 2 paws.
Oh, okay.
Uh, so I read with the first one, and he was good. And then Pruitt walked in, Pruitt Taylor
Yes.
Vince, and just nailed it. Just melted my heart. And I remember thinking, oh, gotta be Pa. If he's not, I'm gonna be heartbroken. I don't know. Is that me?
No, I think that's not you. That's you're good.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I thought, oh man, this is Pa.
That's fabulous.
What was your
Wow.
first reaction when you found out you got the role?
I almost fainted, truly. I kind of, I was standing right next to James, and I just kind of fell into him a little bit, and I was just so overcome. Because also all of the producers were standing around, Peter Safran and all of them. I wish I could remember all their names, but they were all these big smiles on their faces, and the energy coming toward me was just overwhelming. I had just never experienced a moment like that in a casting situation
Mm.
where you're standing with all the people who have voted for you, and they're all smiling. Yeah, it was beautiful.
That's amazing. So, were you familiar with? I mean, Superman has been around for nearly 90 years at this point in time, and there have been other movies and other iterations of the characters. But how familiar were you with the character of Martha Kent, or Mark Kent, as she's actually credited in this movie? And how much did you know about the role?
Well, I only saw one. It was Christopher Reeve, the
Mm-hmm.
first one, and I loved that one.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was pitch perfect. I just loved it, but I never really uh, felt the desire to see it reinvented,
Mm-hmm.
because I felt like they really got it,
Mm-hmm.
if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying, I'm sure all of the other ones are very good. I mean, they would have to be, especially the ones that ran so long, the TV series that ran
Mm-hmm.
so long. And I probably will watch them at some point. But at the point that I auditioned, I wasn't familiar with any of them except for Christopher Reeve.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think that's probably most people are very much the same. If they're not necessarily Superman fans who have watched, Lois and Clark or any of those other TV series, then the Christopher Reeve movies would definitely be the one that would be foremost in their minds.
Right.
So you didn't obviously you didn't reach out to any other actress when you got the role.
No, I didn't, and I wouldn't have, because I just from what I had read and from the script, I knew that James was going in a different direction.
Mm,
He was headed back toward that Christopher Reeve uh, old school vibe.
mm.
And so I didn't want to confuse myself.
No.
Well, I did watch
No.
excerpts. I went to YouTube and I watched the little reels
Hmm.
of all of them to see kind of what the flavor had been.
Mm.
But I didn't want to immerse myself in other interpretations because I felt like James was very clear in what he wanted, and he would, if I wasn't what he wanted, he would tell me.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, be more like Eva Marie Saint or be more like Phyllis Thaxter, or you know, and that never happened.
No, no. I imagine that he would be an amazing director to work with. But just let's talk about some of the people that you did work with. So David Corenswet, who plays Clark Kent, Superman. What was it like working with him?
He's fantastic. He's really that nice. You know, it's hard to believe, but he and the first time I saw him in the suit, I said that there's you are Superman.
Yeah.
And I've heard both Nicholas and Rachel say the exact same thing. So it was just when I saw him in the suit, I thought this could not be more perfect. He is perfectly cast.
That's amazing. Yeah, it seemed like a really great set to be on. It seemed like everybody was so friendly and so it was just like almost like a family vibe amongst everybody who was there.
James really set that tone,
Mm,
and um, I have to give him I give him all the credit for setting the tone on the stage, because I read and I heard Rachel talking about this too, that one of his requirements was no divas,
mm,
no special treatment or people thinking they're this or that. It was supposed to be people who want to be there,
mm-hmm,
are joyful, happy to be there, and want to work together to bring the vision that he had to the screen.
mm.
And I think everybody was on board with that. I didn't
Amazing.
see anybody that wasn't.
Yeah, yeah. It seems like he was he. It's more for him about getting good people and then good actors or good, whatever your job is. You have to be a good person first before he worries about your
I,
professionalism.
I think so, and I think that even goes, not just in front of the camera, but
Mm,
behind the camera, behind the scenes.
yeah.
Everybody that Henry, his director of photography, I love him. He was so nice to me, and so I knew I was in good hands
Hmm.
with Henry.
Perfect. Let's have a look at a quick
So
clip before we get to the next question. There was a making of documentary that just recently came out, and it's amazing. And you get some great behind the scenes look at every element of the movie. But here's just a little bit of the parts that you yourself were as far as this documentary is concerned. I'm just going to grab that clip here and just then get your feedback on that. If it will come up, let's have a look.
I don't see it.
No, I'm trying to get it to play. Technology. Hang on a second. Let's go.
So I think what you want to do is you want to get in here, because especially for that first line, she's really close to the.
Two cameras, Delta Mark.
Well, just want to say congrats and tell you we're thinking about you, Clark. It's been a minute.
Tell him, don't be a stranger.
Pa says don't be a stranger.
This movie was different in that it had all those magical elements of the fantasy of Superman flying.
So there's just a bit of that clip from the documentary that was just recently released. Yeah, your thoughts when you look back at that?
Just a lot of joy. It was so fun. And when we were doing the phone scene, James was in the other room, but I could hear him laughing, even in the other room. And he was watching the monitors
Yeah.
in the other room. And I remember him saying, louder, louder.
Great direction.
Yeah. Easy to understand, just get louder.
So there's been a fair bit of talk about the accent that you've put on
Yes.
for Mark Kent. Some people weren't necessarily on board with it. Others, thought it was perfect. And I heard that there were certain people that you studied, or a certain woman that you studied her speaking mannerisms to kind of help you with that accent. Can you talk to us about the way you came to that decision?
Pat Christie was the woman on the tapes that I listened to. And if I had it to do over, the very first line that I say, none of those words were on the tapes that he sent me of Pat. And I wish I had had the guts to say, can you have her put that line on tape? Because I don't know I'm not sure how to say congratulate, or how she would say stranger. But I got, believe it or not, I got pretty close on most of it. But people who have taken issue with it don't think that it sounds Kansas. But in southeast Kansas, in rural parts of southeast Kansas, there's similarity between, well, what I'm doing right now is my natural
Yeah.
Alabama Southern accent. But did you hear what I just said? But
Yes.
in between, she did that a lot on the tape, and I thought, well, that's what we do.
Yeah, right.
So that's why I put that in there in between. We just we don't want to keep you, but we just called to say congrats.
Right.
And I got a chance to talk to Pat,
Mm-hmm.
and actually we've become friends,
Mm-hmm.
and I
Nice.
adore her. And she liked it. She said that it was great. And when I talked to her, I got her to say that line, that particular line.
Mm-hmm.
And I noticed some difference, but overall, I think I did okay.
I think you did fantastic. It's just, I think that's what fans do. We nitpick at things that, we find issue with, and, you're never going to get everybody who's going to be 100% satisfied across the board. There's always going to be people who nitpick at things or have an opinion, and that's fine. Otherwise, it would be a boring world if everyone thought the same thing.
Yeah. And you have to think, too, what I realize about it is that people are expecting what they've seen,
Yes.
and I'm not that.
No.
So he went in a very different direction, and I expected some fans to kind of be startled
Mm-hmm.
by that difference, and I'm sure he did too. I'm
Oh,
sure
yeah.
James knew not everybody's going to be excited at this change, but I love her. I
Mm.
love Ma. I love how he wrote her, and I love how I did her.
No.
So I'm happy
Yeah.
with Ma.
That's fantastic. And that's the thing. We don't want to see the same thing over and over again. Otherwise, just go watch the old movies, the old TV shows. I mean, what's the point of rehashing what we've already seen in new
Exactly.
movies? So I'm with you there. Mark, sorry, you got the next question.
Well, no, I just wanted to ask how Pruitt Taylor Taylor Vince was working with.
I love him. I can't say enough about him. And I've said this in every interview I've done, I mean it. He is fantastic. Not only is he incredibly talented, but he's incredibly generous and was supportive in every way with me. And he's got a long list of credits. He's worked far, far more than I have. But he treated me as an equal, and he treated me with respect and was very supportive. I just love the man. I adore him.
I
That's
have to say, I
amazing.
was one of those fans at first when I heard that he was playing Pa. That I was saying, "Huh, I just couldn't see it," And then I saw the movie, and I was like, "Man, he was fantastic. He was absolutely
Well, I
fantastic."
you know I said that too at first. I said, "Wow, that is an interesting choice. He's really going in a different direction with Pa too." But from the moment he opened his mouth as Pa, I couldn't see anybody else in the role at all.
Yeah. I mean,
He was
that's the thing.
perfect.
A lot of the different guys or actors who have played Jonathan Kent or Pa Kent over the years have been very Hollywood in that they're good looking, you know, almost model material, an older, very distinguished gentleman. And he's not that. I mean, he's not he's not
Well,
what's
I
the word
think
I'm looking
he's
for?
incredibly handsome.
Yeah, well, in his own way,
But
he is.
I think he's incredibly handsome. But what I think you're saying is he's a character actor
Yes,
far
yes.
more than the ones that they've chosen in the past.
Yeah, he's not a leading man in the way that some of the others have
Hollywood
been.
standard.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes, and I think that threw a lot of people in that they were expecting something different. But then the two of you
right.
together look like Kansas farm folk.
I think so. I think we look really authentic,
Yeah, yeah.
and it felt authentic when we were doing it.
Well, here's a little bit of
I
a clip
felt like
again from that documentary with uh, with those scenes of you two together with James Gunn.
You know, this crew that's been together, I love being around a crew that's been together. This is the way it should always be. If I could spend the rest of my career with this crew, that'd be great with me. And David, my goodness. This is a happy, creative place. That's the way it should be.
I
That's
agree.
beautiful. Yeah, you could just see the love there on that set and how everybody just respected each other, and it almost felt like because everything's wrapped up, it's a very like almost melancholy, farewell that you feel like you've been family, you've been together for so long doing these scenes, and now we're wrapped, and like it's the end of a very beautiful moment.
Well, I don't know if you could tell, but I was crying ugly tears. I mean, I was crying. I couldn't help it.
I can
It
imagine.
was just it was just so bittersweet, you know.
So
Um, I, I,
yeah, go
I just
Mark.
want to say one thing. I love the mush line. I love that.
I do too. I do
I thought
too.
that was great.
And some people said, "Well, I don't like that she was making fun of him." She wasn't making fun of him.
Oh,
It was endearing.
Yes, it's
She was
of
playful.
so
course.
she loves that about him,
Yeah,
and she loves to rib him about that.
yeah. Yeah, yeah, you can see that. So you've spoken a lot about James Gunn. So how did he describe his vision of Mark Kent to you? Did he give you a very particular, way of how he wanted her portrayed? Did he give her any kind of a backstory to you to kind of help you fill in? Because we don't see Ma or Pa Kent that much in the film. I mean, you've got a very key role and a very key element in the film at a pivotal time. But did he give you much kind of feedback as far as how he wanted you to portray her or what her story was?
Just that she was down to earth and pretty much talked a little bit more than Pa did, or was a little more animated, let's say, than Pa was. But he didn't, I really think he liked what I did, or he would have been a lot more specific. I think I got it, if that makes sense. And the script was well written. I really felt I knew Ma, knew who she was. And so it was one of the easier roles to, wrap my head around from some of the ones that I've played.
Amazing.
Any memorable behind the scenes moments that you can that you can tell us about?
Um, oh, well, I don't like to sit around. So I would be like a little fly on the wall and stand next to the room where James was sitting, watching all the monitors. And I would watch James watching the monitors. And the glee on his face, or the intensity on his face, or whatever was going, it was just lovely to see him, because he was so 100% focused on those monitors. And you could tell that he was absorbing everything that was there. So that was a lot of fun for me. Now, another thing that James did is he would bring tons of these very sugary donut cupcakes. No, not yes, cupcakes. And they would be sitting on the counter, and the crew could just go by and get a bite. He loved those sugary donuts or cupcakes. So that's a good memory for me. As far as behind the scenes, that's what comes to mind. I'm sure there were other things, but I really enjoyed that, watching him watching
Yeah.
the monitors.
Yeah, that's great. So one of the best parts of the film was seeing the home movies of Clark growing up, and that's obviously at the very end of the film. That becomes his new focus of what soothes him and makes him, happy. What was it like filming those? Because obviously we've got the key moments of you and Jonathan, or you and Ma and Pa Kent taking care of Clark when Lois brings him home after the big fight and everything, and he's recuperating at the farm. And they're the key moments of the film. But there's all these little snippets of footage that we see of you with the young Clark, and and they become his like home videos that he looks back on to soothe him at the end of the film. What was it like filming those?
Well, let me back up to when I first read the whole script, which was, I think, when I was on set, and they didn't send it out, for confidentiality reasons. And when I read the ending scene, I cried. I thought, this is going to be beautiful. I can't wait to see this. And when we were actually filming it, the kids were so much fun, but some of them were kind of nervous, and one in particular was really nervous. Not him, though. He was fantastic. But when that's Jack, the one that ended up playing young Clark in one of the montages. And when he left from the audition, I thought, oh yeah, he's the one. And so I was so happy when they cast him. And I actually got to meet him. Was that picture when I was at FarleyCon, I think?
I think so, yes.
Yes. Yes, he came to see me. And that was such a joy
Oh,
for me
beautiful.
to see him again. But it was wonderful. I could feel as we were doing it how impactful it would be on the screen. And when I went to the premiere, I went to Hollywood to the premiere, and I was able to sit right next to Pa, right next to Pruitt. Yeah, there I am. Um, and boy, that was an amazing adventure
Mm,
that I won't forget. But to be able to sit next to Pa, and when they were doing that, I was watching him part of the time.
right.
And I could just see on his face the same thing I was feeling, which is well done, beautiful, beautiful.
That's
And
great.
that's really how it felt. And I could tell that that's what the audience felt too, because it got very quiet during that scene. And and then the song was perfect. I was like, "How did he do that? That's just amazing." I couldn't get it out of my head for
Yeah, it's very
weeks.
catchy.
Mhm. It was beautiful.
Oh, very nice. That seemed like the red carpet at the world premiere there in Los Angeles looked like an amazing event. I mean, the red carpet alone, the way they had it all decorated and with the Fortress of Solitude crystals, and it seemed like a production in itself.
It was like a whole block.
Mm,
They it was an entire block that they had done that way. And, when I first got there, I didn't know what to do, and they were kind of guiding me around, and at one point, it felt like 30 photographers at once yelling at me, telling me, Look here, look over here, look here, look up here, Neva, look over here, right in front of you, Neva." I was like, how do people do this?
so would you say for this has been the biggest film that you've been involved with?
Oh, by far.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Well,
What
I mean, it's almost the biggest film anybody's been in this year,
Yeah.
anyway.
and it's a big film.
Huge.
What makes
Yes.
Ma Kent such an important figure in Clark's life?
Did you ask why is she?
No,
What
what
was
makes her such an important figure in his life? How does she guide him?
I feel, and I don't know how James would answer this, but I feel she guides by example more than words.
Hmm.
And that's kind of how my grandmother was. You know, she didn't say a lot, but I could see her helping people in the community. Even when she didn't feel like it, she would go out and help someone if they were sick. She would sit with them if someone passed away. And she would cook for us, like Ma cooks for Pa and did cook for Clark before he left home. And I think she showed her love by action, by example, and that Clark, to me, he examples that as well. He goes and helps people because it's the right thing to do. And I think he absorbed that through seeing Ma in the community and at home.
Mm. So, how do you think? So, oh, first, let me ask you: how many times have you seen the movie, other than the world premiere? Have you gone to see it yourself? Have you taken family members to go see it with you?
I saw it in LA,
Hmm.
and then I went with I live in an apartment complex, and all of the people here are just over the moon about it. So we all went as a group. We went to the theater, and then I went with my family to a private viewing
Hmm.
at a small theater in the area. So I've seen it 3 times.
Oh, beautiful! You've seen it more than me.
Well, let's get out there.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I mean, I went to the Australian premiere here in Sydney,
Oh,
the earlier in the when it first came out, and then I took my mother to see it a couple of nights later, and she thoroughly enjoyed it. So, and that's the thing I love about this film is that it's for all ages, children, adults, everybody can go see it and get something out of it and take something away from it, because it's a movie that has a special message that resonates with all ages. And while some of the elements of the mature messages might go over the heads of the children, crypto and the fun elements of the film will just entertain them no end.
Right. I agree. I think it's for all ages as well.
Yeah. So
And I love that about it.
how do you think, on that topic, how do you think this version of Superman differs from past adaptations?
Well, not having seen any, except for Christopher Reeve, I'm not sure. But from what I've read, the let's
Henry
see, was
Cavill?
it Man of Steel?
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, but what was the name? Was
Yeah,
it
Man
Man
of
of
Steel.
Steel?
Yep.
Yeah. Went kind of dark
Yeah.
compared to this one.
Mm-hmm.
So I prefer light. I
Yes.
prefer the color and the fun and the comic book. To me, it's just like reading a comic book. It just like he took a comic book and threw it up on the screen, and there's a magic to that. Yeah. See, and I would not have minded if Ma had had that gray hair with the bun on top. I wouldn't have minded that at all.
That's amazing. Yeah. And that's exactly how I felt going into this film, that I felt like it was a comic book come to life, or a Saturday morning cartoon that I grew up with in live action. It felt, it took me back to that kind of childhood feeling of joy, and it was silly in parts, and there were elements that were very fantastic, and it wasn't grounded in too much reality. It was very much very fantastical, but that's what we want when we go to the films, when we go to the theater. We want an escapism. We don't want to be grounded back in everyday life. We want to go out there and check out for 2 hours and 9 minutes and just be able to be engrossed in this fantastic world.
Yeah. And going back, you had asked me how I thought it differed, or what I thought when I was researching Ma. When I went back and read the old comic books and looked at those, I felt like that Ma was what he was going after more than the modern versions. So I liked that. And like I said, it wouldn't have bothered me if he'd wanted my hair gray with a bun on top. That would have been fine.
So was that your natural hair? You didn't have to wear a wig or anything? I mean, it's
No,
the same
no
color.
wig. No.
No, that's amazing.
Yeah. Well, I say that, but in the flashbacks, that was a wig.
Yes, right.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was
Yes,
there
so
any
that's
moment
me.
in the production? Was there any moment in the production when you finally looked and said, "Yeah, this is going to be something big. This is going to be something special that people are really gonna love"?
I don't even think it was, well, when I saw David was one point.
Yeah.
I thought, okay, this is perfectly cast. When I learned that Nathan Fillion was playing Green Lantern, I said, okay, that's going to work. I had never seen Mr. Terrific.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to mess up his name. Edie
Gathegi.
Gathegi.
Yeah.
Gathegi.
Mm-hmm.
Fantastic. Oh my gosh. And I didn't get to see him when I was filming because all my scenes were at the farmhouse. But yeah, when I read the script and saw that ending sequence, I said, oh, this is going to touch people. This is going to be so beautiful.
So now that filming is behind you, what excites you most about fans finally seeing this portrayal of Marc Kent? Like, how excited are you for fans who, fans have seen it already. It's been out in the theaters for quite a while now. Now Friday, it's coming out digitally, and the Blu-rays are coming out and DVDs are coming out in September. So, how excited are you for fans to finally see this?
I've said this in other interviews, but what has surprised me and touched me the most is how many people are genuinely moved because I remind them of someone that they lost. And that's just been such a unforeseen blessing in a way that I'm able to, or Ma, I don't really think it's me, I think it's Ma, is able to touch someone in such a way that it brings back that feeling of their grandmother or their mother. And there's no price you can put on that. That's just beautiful. That's probably been that has been the biggest blessing for me, is to realize that and be told that over and over by fans.
I've seen so many people on social media comment about the chat that Clark and Pa are able to have outside the farmhouse, and how they would give anything to be able to have 5 minutes chat with their dad if he's passed, and mine's passed 6-7 years ago now. So it's like same thing. It just brought that lump to your throat, because you know, as someone who has lost their dad, it'd be so beautiful to be able to have that 5-minute chat, you know, at a moment where you really need that sense of, you know, please help me figure out where I am in my at the moment.
And someone who loves you unconditionally, and they may not have the answer, but you know that they're there for you, and they will do everything they can for you. And that's just something that everybody needs. And that scene was so beautiful. And I think Pruitt probably gets a lot of that too from fans, you know, what you just said. I imagine he gets a lot of that.
Yeah. So moving forward, do you have the idea that Marc Kent will be back? Do you know, was there a contract in place where you think, you know, is it a, you know, an opening for, you know, for you to come back? Do you know that for a fact?
There is no fact. I wish I could tell you that there was. I hope so. It would be a great joy for me to bring her back and give people more Ma. And I would look forward to, you know, perfecting what I might not have gotten right with the accent, because now that I'm friends with Pat, I can just call her and say, hey, how would you say this? So it will be more Kansas, southeast rural Kansas, accurate. I'm a perfectionist,
I can
so
tell.
if there's anything that I could have done better, you know, I want a chance to do it. But I hope so. I hope she comes back.
Well, I mean, I think, Marc, you'll agree with me that this is something that fans absolutely agree on in this version of the film, regardless of what era of Superman is your favorite, is that we love the fact that Ma and Pa are alive, and none of them gets killed off in this movie.
Yes, I've seen a lot of comments to that effect, and I've had a lot of people say that they want I don't know, there's something about a Christmas episode or something with
Right.
the Kents, which would be fun. But that's
Yeah.
all up to James Gunn, and he has a lot of things on his plate all the time. He's working on so many things, so we'll just have to see. I hope so.
Yeah,
I
so
hope
do
I
we.
come back.
Marc, do you have any
We
final
do too.
question for Neva?
Well, I would like to say that I found that we have the same birthday. You're born October 31st. Not the same year,
Yes.
but the same day.
Wow. Wow. So you're a
Yeah,
Halloween baby too.
I'm a Halloween baby. Absolutely, through and through.
Wow,
Yep.
there you go,
We
coincidence.
you know, we came in when the veil is the thinnest.
Right, yes,
Yes.
yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
All right, you're freaking me out, both
Yep.
of you, right now, so...
Hey, well, we have a connection, you see. That's what happens, truly, with Halloween babies. Yes,
very good.
there's a
Well,
connection.
Neva, before we let you go, is there anything that you would like to get across to the fans that maybe, you know, we haven't asked you about, or if there's anything that you would like to discuss
Just that I'm so grateful, for this opportunity, and it's been an experience I'll never forget. And I'm a lot of gratitude to James Gunn and to Pruitt Taylor Vince and to the fans. Thank you. Just
Amazing.
thank you.
That's awesome.
Thank
Thank you
you.
so much for being here with us to discuss this Superman movie and your role as Mark Kent. I'm glad with the dozens of emails that we've shared between us that we've been able to get this worked out, and that the technology was on our side tonight, and that you were able to get this working for this interview. So thank you so much for being so gracious and so persistent.
Well, thank you for your patience.
Our pleasure. So, thank you once again. We really appreciate you taking the time out for this interview. It's been amazing. We love your role as Mark Kent. We hope she comes back for future movies, and we'll watch with interest to see what you do next. Is there anything else in the pipeline for you? Do you have any other roles upcoming in other projects?
Not quite yet, but there are some things being talked about. So I hope to have something to say soon
Very good.
on that regard.
Well, thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Thanks once again.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, folks. Well, that was our interview with Neva Howell. Mark and I were just thrilled to be able to chat with her tonight. So hope you appreciated that interview. Look forward to more Superman homepage stuff as the weeks go on. Don't forget, Monday night, 7:30 p.m. Pacific time for Superman homepage live. Thank you, Mark.
Thank you, Steve.
Subscribe to our free Superman homepage newsletter and stay in the loop. Go to supermanhomepage.com/newsletter. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and click on the bell to ensure you don't miss out on any of our new videos.